Hotties. Welcome to Hotties with the Plotties. I'm Daniqua.
I'm Tasha.
And today we are bringing you a fantastic plot with our 2 cents mixed in. Books are our main focus, but we may also cover TV shows, movies, or any other stories that spark our interest. You are joining us for Season 1, Episode 3, where Taja will be giving us her summary and thoughts on Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros, Part 2. So if you didn't join us for Part 1, go back and listen to Part 1 and then come back to Part 2 because this book is thick.
Yes, it is. And before we get into that thick plot, we just want to have our little disclaimer. Listening to us watching this video is not a replacement for actually reading the book. So we do encourage everyone to either read the book before or after you listen to this episode. Mm-hmm. It enhances your overall experience with that story. So we will be summarizing and giving our commentary under fair use, but bear in mind it's always easier to criticize than it is to create.
Absolutely.
So keep that in mind. And with that, we'll go ahead and get into it.
Yes. Maybe we should cover just a little bit of where we left off last time.
Yes, we can recap a little bit. I'm going to pause here because I will need chopstick.
Absolutely.
You can just keep it recording. Cut this out.
Remember to pause and cut this part out.
I can already feel my mouth getting dry. Okay.
That's the hardest part of doing the mostly talking part.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't take as many breaks to drink as you want because it's just awkward and
yeah. Okay. And let me get to my
Do you want to sippy sip?
Yeah, I'll do that too. That's smart. Okay. So, where are we at?
Probably just like a sentence or two to remind them.
Mm-hmm.
Them, the fans.
The little people. Okay. All right. Right, we are at the squad battle. Okay, so when we left off, Violet's squad had just won the squad battle.
Yes.
They stole the map from her mother's office, and Violet happened to see some letters on her mother's desk in the course of this task. Some letters about unrest in certain areas, needing reinforcements at certain outposts.
That's right. The task was go and get what you think would be most dangerous in the enemy's hands.
Right.
And most people, I think, were taking that in a different direction. And She was like, nah.
Yeah. So they stole the map from her mother's office. Her mother is the general, and she has all the like battle positions and shit. I don't know. So that would be very useful for an enemy.
Yes.
They win the squad battle, and their reward for that is that they get to take a field trip to a real live outpost near the front lines.
I don't want to do that. That's the reward?
That's the
reward. You get to be closer to war?
But they're riders. It's in their blood.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. They have to face the danger. They're all just excited and raring to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's...
Violet's excited?
Violet's excited. She's a real rider now.
She's just trying to prove herself. She's trying to be like, yeah, no, I really do love this. What was it that they were trying to make her do? Go be like a weaver?
A scribe.
A scribe.
There we go. Yes. And she resisted Dane at every turn.
Yes.
Because she has something to prove.
I kind of see where Dane was coming from. He was trying to look out for her best interest. He was like, I've seen you, and I really think you should go be a scribe.
Right. Because again, we went over this in the first part. Violet is tiny.
Yes.
She's a small girl.
Small.
That's one of her defining characteristics. She's small and she is easily injured because she also has whatever the equivalent in this world is
of like brittle bones.
I think they're going for like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, where she like hyperextends shit easily and like
That's right.
So yeah, and her joints just like pop out of place, and she has to get them fixed.
That's really difficult for a rider who's about to go to like the front lines of battle.
Correct, but they're doing that. So they gear up. They get to stay at the outpost for a week. So they take their dragons. They fly out to the outpost, and surprise, Mira is at this outpost. Which is Violet's sister.
Oh, yes.
Remember, she has a sister. She had a brother.
And the sister was like, don't sleep with Aiden.
Yes.
She's like, whatever you do, don't sleep with him.
Don't sleep with him. Yes.
And she has not slept with him.
She has not slept with him yet.
Probably.
Yes. So both of her siblings were riders, and that's why her mother remember, forced her to not be a scribe. She's like, no, you're going to be a writer too.
But her dad was a scribe.
Her dad was a scribe. Yes.
Okay.
And he died after her brother was killed in that, like, skirmish.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird that her mom would put this strange bias against being a scribe when she married a scribe.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Real weird.
But okay.
So, all right. Mira is at this outpost, so Violet's super happy because as first years in the war college, you're not even allowed to, like, talk to your family, write letters, whatever. So this is her first time seeing Mira since she had to cross the bridge and become a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're flying, recap a little bit. As they're flying, I think Violet notices, or Rhiannon says something. And so when they get there, Violet talks to Rhiannon, and she's like, hey, what's going on? And Rhiannon tells her, oh, well, my family's village is not very far from here. It's like 5 minutes by dragon.
She's like, so I'd low-key just love to, like, pop in.
Yes.
Say hi real quick, even though they're not allowed to talk to family.
Correct.
But Violet's about to get to see her sister. So
yeah.
I feel like if you get to see your sister, I can see my mom.
Right. Exactly. So they do end up sneaking off the first day they get there. Maybe the second day. I don't know. One of the first days they get there, they end up sneaking off to go fly to see Rhiannon's family. They get caught by Mira, and she's like, fine, I'll help y'all, whatever.
Okay.
So Mira's cool. They get to see Rhiannon's family. She has, like, a new nibbling niece or nephew.
Okay.
So that's cool. And they're
bonding, having family time.
Right. They hang out there for a little bit. Nothing crazy happens. But when they get back, oh, wait, something does happen.
Oh, okay.
While Rhiannon is chilling with her family, Violet is talking to Mira. If you remember, she had to cross the parapet with a pack on her back, and that's the only things that she was allowed to bring with her.
Right. And I think they took a book away from her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we come back to that. She asks Mira about her book of fables that she had to leave behind because her pack was way too heavy for her tiny frame.
So small. so small and demure.
Yes. So they talk about that book. Mira is like, oh yeah, I still have it. You can have it back, whatever. I don't really care. And they talk about how the fables concern the venin and wyverns. Do you remember what those are?
No.
So venin are like dark magic wielders. So
say it, venin?
Venin. Yes,
okay.
Like venom, kind of.
Okay,
yeah.
venin.
Yes.
And they're just evil wizards.
They're human. They were at one point humans, according to legend. And so there are the dragons that can channel magic into humans. And then there are griffins that the other kingdom has, and they can also channel magic into humans. That's the two kingdoms that are fighting.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So venin are allegedly these creatures that try to channel magic themselves, and that turns them evil.
Oh, they don't need. They're trying to be like, oh, I don't need a dragon or a griffin.
Right.
I want a mainline magic myself. Okay.
Right. So
and that makes them evil.
That makes them evil.
I don't feel like that's evil. I just want to cut out the middleman.
And then the wyverns are like the equivalent flying creature, and they create the wyverns. I don't know.
So they do have a creature middleman. Then it's just a wyvern.
The creature isn't a middleman though, because the venin create them.
Okay.
So
if anything, they are the middleman for the wyverns. The wyverns access magic through them.
Maybe the wyverns have their own war college. I don't know.
Is this in her book of fables?
Yes.
But fables are false. And I thought this was real.
No. Yeah. But it's weird how it keeps coming up.
Okay, got it. It's one of those things. It's like, keep hearing about it.
Right.
Maybe something will happen about this.
Right. So that was our little exposition there. They go back to the outpost. They stow their dragons away, whatever. They're going back up to the outpost. And who should they come across but Xaden?
Xaden. You know that man.
Xaden, whatever his name is. Yes. So he shows up because obviously his dragon is Violet's dragon's mate.
Yeah, so he needs to make sure she's okay. Not because he cares about her, but because if you get hurt, I get hurt.
Well, technically, this is a thing because their dragons just can't bear to be away from one another for more than
the dragons
2
get
days.
like in heat or something.
Yes. No, literally.
And then don't they themselves feel it in turn too?
If their dragons are horny, they're horny.
It's like, oh, I don't want to be. It's just
it's against my will.
Yeah. Got it. So he shows up here.
So he shows up
because the dragons have to be together.
Yes. So he also has a fun little trick that he can do now because the dragons speak to you in your mind, basically, when you're bonded to them. So now he can speak to Violet telepathically.
Of course. No one else has this sort of like love quadruple going on.
No, because
no one else's dragons are like mates.
Are mated, which is kind of
weird.
odd.
Why are these the only 2 dragons that are mated?
Well, maybe we just like haven't heard about other mated.
I would love to hear about it. I would love for it to be like, what's his face in 23B? His dragons loving minds.
Yeah, or like what if it's like 2 mated dragons, but like it's a lesbian and a straight man?
Yeah.
Like that's awkward.
And then it's like slightly annoying. It's like, I can tell he's upset right now.
Right.
I feel it.
Yes. Or if they just like really truly hate each other, which is like what they're trying to convince us that Violet.
Please. After he saved her in the forest, when he stopped everybody else from like, I was like, no, you like her.
Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. Mira is like big mad about this development. She's like
that he showed up.
That he showed up and that their dragons are bonded to them and mates, and that they now have to spend so much time together because she has to be around Xaden because their dragons have to be together. And she's like, what are you gonna do next year because Xaden is a 3rd year?
Mm-hmm.
So she tells him, like, what are you gonna do next year when you're off at an outpost and Violet is still in college? You're gonna keep her from learning what she needs to learn. She's not gonna get a good education.
Okay.
So she's very upset.
Is that the only thing she's upset about? It just feels like this goes deeper for her.
No, I mean, obviously she's upset because Xaden is the child of the rebellion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
But also, does she low-key like him?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm. It's just giving jealousy. That's what it's giving.
Fair enough. So, yeah, she has a tantrum about that, which I'm just like, you're wasting your time. Their dragons are mates. Mm-hmm. This is happening.
And it's already done. From my understanding, this can't be undone. So what are we yapping about?
Exactly. So whatever. She goes off and has her thing. And then, oh no, griffins are attacking the outpost.
As expected, because we're on the front lines.
We are on the front lines.
Yeah.
You are correct. So they bundle up all the first years and they're like, you gotta get out of here. We have to defend our outpost. We can't be worried about you sitting here. So they have to run and pack all of their shit. And Violet is like, I'm not leaving you, Mira.
Okay. Girl, this is war. Like, and you're a liability by saying. If she has to worry about you and your safety, why do people never get that?
Why do we do this?
The best thing you can do is get to safety so she doesn't have to think about you.
Yes.
Let Mira do her job.
Yes. I have thoughts about this relating to Sarah J. Maas, but that is a whole other episode.
Is that Akatar?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to cover that.
We really do. We really do. But yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm not leaving you, Mira. I can stay and fight. I'm an untrained first-year student, but I can definitely do something here.
Yeah, be a distraction. That's what you can do.
Exactly.
You're going to fall down, and now both Aiden and Mira are going to be like, oh no, you poor thing.
Yes. So Mira is like, you need to stop. Xaden grabs all her stuff, and makes her leave, like physically, like takes her.
Oh my gosh, she's so strong.
I know. I know. It's kind of hot. And, they're flying back to the war college. She tells him, like, I'm going to hate you forever. I'll never forgive you from taking me away when my sister's in danger.
She's so dramatic.
She is very dramatic and, like, not even, like, logical.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't make any sense. Your sister is a soldier. Your sister knows what she's doing. And it is not his fault that griffins have attacked this outpost.
It's almost insulting to your sister's abilities that you're acting like this.
That's very true.
Aren't you training to be this way as well? Like,
right.
Isn't this what you want?
Yes. Like, what are you going to do when you're out in war? and you have to defend.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be worried about like the people that you like the most.
No, you need to get out there and do what it takes.
Works.
This is why she needs to go be a scribe. But whatever, she can, whatever.
It is what it is. Okay, they get back a couple of days later. It's like a couple of days dragon ride to and from this outpost. They get back. She's not sleeping. She's not eating until they finally get news from this outpost. Mira has survived. So,
Wonderful.
like, chill. Calm the fuck down.
And if tragically, if Mira had passed, I know she would do that thing where it's like, I could have saved her. And no, you couldn't have.
Literally,
you could barely save yourself. If anything, if you were there, more people would have died.
Exactly.
It would have been like Mira and her whole platoon.
Correct. So that's fine. Kind of anticlimactic. We don't get a whole lot more about what exactly happened in this battle. But now we are at the war games. Do not ask me how this is different from the squad battle.
Right?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Is it still comrade v comrade? Or are we like fighting outside people now?
So this this is comrade against comrade. Yes, okay. Yes, because it's all part of the education.
Want to have what's the word? Attrition?
Yeah.
Yeah, they Yeah, they're fine with just losing so many people.
You know, a drop of a hat. And again, people tell me like, oh, the author is trying to make a statement about like the true cost of war and how like people just get ground up in the war machine. And I'm like, okay, but like this isn't even logical. You know, like we can ostensibly argue about whatever wars or whatever we do with troops like in the real world, but there's no reason that you need to make people cross a bridge 200 feet in the air, and if they fall off they just die, because
that doesn't even like, you're not throwing them at the war machine, you're just
that's like if you went into basic training and you just like have to run while a machine gun shoots at you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's the first thing.
And they're like, oh, we lost half our people.
Right. Like, no. But okay, that's what this narrative is attempting to portray.
I've heard someone say before how dystopian fiction is never like a prediction of the future, but it's always a critique of the present. And I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Some of my favorite critiques of the present, though, are for you to show the alternative. Like, show what it could be, show what would be better, and then contrast that with this.
Or what we think would be better and how that could be twisted and go wrong. Yeah, but this doesn't hit the mark for me, but that's okay.
It is okay.
That's all right. So this war games is another part of, I don't know, this is I think what happens right before graduation.
Okay. And do you have to pass the war games?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think by pass, you just like have to survive.
Oh, wonderful. So this is to the death.
Yeah.
All right.
Like a lot of their fake / real battle conflicts. Yeah. Okay. So they're at war games. Violet and her dragon, Taryn, he has a saddle now.
Is he the little one or the big one?
He's the big one.
Okay.
He's the big one. He's got a saddle because remember, she can't stay on her dragon without his magic.
Is it because she's so small?
Because she's small and she has weak joints.
Okay.
So
it's like she just maybe shouldn't
have done this.
Yeah.
Perhaps. So she's very upset about this development of having the dragon saddle. I'm like, why doesn't every dragon just have a saddle? That would make sense.
Because everybody rides the dragon. This is good commentary on like accommodations and how easy it is to make them for everybody, and like equity, and we all need different accommodations, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But Violet is upset because she's like, oh, you think I'm not strong enough to stay on my dragon?
No, you're not. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Get on the saddle.
Right. Just wear the saddle. The dragon has accepted it. The dragon helped with the design of it. He's all into the saddle, but whatever. She's like, okay, fine. Because again, when you're in battle, the dragon can't be concentrating some of his power on keeping you on him. Especially if you're like in active battle.
Yes.
Anyway, It's fine. So they battle against another group, squad, whatever. I don't wing
Team.
team. Right. So, and of course, they are battling against Jack, his
Can we
team.
please just kill him? Like, can we just be done with him?
Can we be done
If
with
there
Jack?
were ever a moment for a person to like tragically pass and we have like a funeral and we're all sad, maybe they could have a moment where they reflect on like aspects of him that were good. I don't care. Just get him out the way.
So, in this War Games battle, he tries to kill Liam, which is her bodyguard.
Yes.
And they've become buddies, so that's cute. He tries to kill him and pushes him, like shoves him off of his dragon.
No.
I know, we love Liam.
Yes.
So Violet ends up using her time-stopping powers from her baby dragon.
Is the baby dragon like sitting on the sidelines?
Okay, so I forgot this part is cute. So they have the dragon saddle, and because the baby dragon like can't keep up with the big dragon, they have a part that like clips onto his saddle, and she wears it and it's like a harness. So she's just like chilling as he's flying around. She's clipped onto his saddle.
I don't understand. Like, she's riding the big one.
Violet is riding the big one.
Yes.
Yes, he has a saddle, and then the saddle has a clip that he can clip the baby dragon onto.
Onto the big dragon? Is he just like dangling from the big dragon? Like, that's so cute.
I know, it sounds adorable. I want to like actually see what that looks like.
And then if you need to, you can like unclip him and like he can do something too. That's so cute. Imagine his like arms just dangling.
Just like, so when we cut our dog's nails, we have a harness for her, and you like lift her up.
Oh,
and that's what I'm picturing.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah, so the tiny yellow dragon, she's in this little harness, so she's still around. So Violet uses her time-stopping powers from the baby dragon, with the baby dragon's consent, because consent is important.
Yes.
And she uses that to save Liam, which is great. She is very upset that Jack has tried to kill Liam, which she should be. But in her being so upset, she finally gets her signet power. Can you guess what her signet power is?
Is it fire? Electricity?
It is lightning. You're too good at that.
Here we go.
You're too good. It's lightning. Yes. So there's like this like description goes on for like 2 or 3 paragraphs, and it's, for me, it's a little overwrought, and just like, okay, we get it. Like, you have one of the most insane powers of all time.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
There's a trope that sometimes bothers me, and not just this, but just like general fantasy, where there's this idea that because a character wants something so bad, they deserve it. And I just don't agree with that. I don't think that she has demonstrated having any sort of superior intellect, ability, capability, anything to deserve all of the like. She gets 2 dragons. Like,
and one of them is the strongest
one ever.
Yeah.
Her signet power is like lightning, and I'm just like, if we're gonna do the whole like, but she's got heart thing, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't love that.
I agree, and I think are you familiar with the concept of the Mary Sue?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of, it's intertwined with what the trope you're talking about, but basically a Mary Sue character is typically seen as like an author's self-insert, but I think it's moved away from that a little bit.
Oh, then I'm aware, like, I've seen this happen.
Yeah, and it's just like, she is like the hottest thing ever, like everyone is in love with her immediately. She gets the strongest powers. She is like the chosen one. Bella is a perfect example.
Yes.
Bella Swan is a perfect example.
And this is not me saying that any of the Mary Sues are like bad people. It's just they tend to be extremely neutral and mediocre.
Right.
And then all the good things come to them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes.
Is there a male name for that?
Gary Sue. Or Gary Stew.
Gary Stew? That's so funny.
Yes. Yeah. So, yes. She gets lightning powers. She finally uses this power to kill Jack. Finally.
Yes.
Like, this man should have been dead.
Zap.
He should have been
falls off
dead.
his dragon tragically.
Yes.
Yep. Love it.
Oh, no.
Love it. We don't even need to spend a lot of time mourning him. Let's just sweep up his body and keep it moving.
You would think. But again, she finds a reason to be very upset about killing Jack.
She is in war. And if you feel upset about killing the bad people, imagine how upset you're going to be when you accidentally get good people in the crossfire. Because that's what happens in war.
That is what happens.
I don't think she's got the gumption.
We got to deal with this. So we've already been over this, but we learn that lightning is, of course, the super special, super rare power. It hasn't been seen in generations. So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she is very upset that her power is only a weapon.
Oh my gosh.
Her brother Brandon was a healer, and like her other classmates, one of them can like open locked doors, but hers is only a weapon, and she's so sad about this.
I truly wish we could like switch powers in this universe. Because her complaining about having the coolest one.
Right.
Someone give her the ability to unlock doors. Oh, great. You're useful like 1 in every 5 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that because they used that power when they were stealing the map.
Mm-hmm. That was the last time you saw it.
That was the first and last time. Yes. Yeah. So, okay. She's in her feelings about killing Jack. She is in her feelings about this power that she inexplicably does not want.
She seems determined to always be upset.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're never happy about anything. But whatever, that night, Xaden comes to comfort her. He's like, it's always hard when you kill your first man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even kidding. Like, that's how this conversation starts. And he's like, oh, I'm here for whatever you need. And she's like, I need you.
What? So we're finally getting into the, like, we're done pretending we hate each other.
We are done pretending at this point. Yes. They finally bang it out.
Oh, Mira's going to be so mad.
She's going to be big mad.
What if she gets pregnant?
I think in this universe, I want to say it was like, oh, do you take the contraceptive potion? Yes, I take it too.
Got it.
Yeah, so they both take it, which I'm like, okay, that's egalitarian, and I like it. Yeah. Like, they both have to take something. The burden's
not just on, like, the female form.
Right. I think they call it, like, this fertility suppressant, something like that.
Okay.
So it does get addressed.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, and I imagine it's like the Olympic Village where there's just like fertility like suppressants everywhere. Yeah, like they just serve it to you with your morning coffee. Like, just, we know y'all are out here.
I hope they also have like STI suppressants, but
sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna assume.
Yeah. It just covers all the bases.
You know, that's a good question, because that's something I feel like in most fantasies I read now, it's like a thing to bring up, what do we do in this universe for birth control?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've ever seen STIs addressed.
There are a lot of things, I think, in not just fantasy, but like all genres, when they're doing like a spicy scene, where I'm like, oh, okay, that was an interesting. Y'all aren't gonna address that in any way,
right? Because they're not using. I don't think this world has condoms. If they do, they're not using them. They didn't say anything, so like, there's no barrier.
I always pay attention too to whether or not they pee afterwards, because I'm like, oh, you're just gonna go to sleep. Okay, I hope you got some cranberry juice.
If you want to gamble with your
that's on you, I guess.
System that way, that's fine. So yes, they bang it out. Then it's just like so intense and passionate that they break the furniture, and she causes a lightning storm.
Are the dragons like outside the window, like watching or something?
So I think what happens, don't quote me on this, but I think what happens later is that like in her mind, her dragon is like, we saw that. But I might be making that up. I don't know. So yeah, she causes a lightning storm. She sets her furniture on fire at one point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She has a room all to herself.
Yes. So after they get their dragons, they get their own rooms.
Nice.
Yes.
And she just tore hers up.
She just tore hers all up completely. Yep.
Okay. But it sounds like it was a great scene.
It was good. Like the spice was good, and I'm not gonna lie, it was not terrible.
Did he do the boner cage? Did he put his hands lean down over her?
Probably. I think they did it first on the desk.
I
want to say.
And then she pretended like that was comfortable for a
Yeah,
while.
right.
And then she went to another. Okay.
So, yeah. And then afterwards, they're like canoodling or whatever. And they have a nice little intimate moment.
Aww.
Where, well, it's kind of depressing because she sees all of these marks on his back.
That she did to him by accident?
No. They're just like old scars.
Oh.
And she learns that came from the time of the rebellion when all of those kids' parents were killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then since he was the oldest, he's the one that made the deal that, okay, well, all of you kids will get a chance to prove yourselves and try to become writers and prove your loyalty to our nation. That's the deal that he made. But he also got whipped 107 times, one for each child. Yeah.
So wait, did all the children get whipped?
No, just him.
Why?
To impress upon him that all of those children are now his responsibility and he has to make sure they're all loyal.
That's not adding up for me. That doesn't make any sense.
I hear you.
You just sowed disloyalty into me, actually.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yes, and I think he was, like 13, 14 at this time?
Did her mom do the whipping?
I don't know if her mother specifically did the whipping, but I think she's the one that ordered it.
Ugh. Yeah. That's so
He's got a lot of reasons to hate this woman.
We've got a lot of magic in this world. Nobody can clean up those scars or something.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing. Like the healers that they have at the college, I don't think they're not magical. Because that's one of the quadrants you can be a healer. But if I remember right, they're not magical. You can get healing powers for your signet power, because that's what her brother had. But then they work in conjunction with like the healer quadrant.
Got it.
But they just do like tinctures and potions.
Nothing that could clear that.
Nothing, right.
That's awkward and would take me out of the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So that happens. And now Violet has to have, this is like days later or whatever, next day, I don't know. Violet has to have special lessons about her signet power because it's just like too powerful that she's a danger to everyone else.
One-on-one training.
Yes.
Oh, you're worried about me being a danger to everyone else now, but when everyone else was a danger to me, nobody was saying anything.
Fair.
That's wild.
So she has to have super special lessons with that professor. She does that. They go to like a mountaintop and she tries to figure out how to like control and channel her lightning to where she wants it to go. We get like, I guess, a montage of that.
I do like that. I like a scene where a person is like cultivating their power.
Yeah, they're not just like a master of it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some tropes we've seen in other things where suddenly you've got like a PhD in it and you haven't done
anything. Yeah. Yes. So, okay, we have that, and then there is this fancy ball that they have every year before graduation.
This is a chance for her to get dressed up, and he gets to see her in a pretty dress, and he's like stunned.
Yes, and it's like a big deal. The king comes to this like banquet, and
I never thought about there being a king.
There is a king.
Wow, and a queen. Oh, he's single? The king's single?
I don't know. I don't think they mentioned a queen. I just remember the king. So, yeah, it's like a big deal. Violet's mother expects her to like schmooze with the nobility, whatever. She's like, I don't want to do any of this. Like, this is all dumb. I don't care. She goes out during the ball to the parapet, which is, again, the thing that they cross. And she sees Xaden out there being a sad boy.
Oh my gosh, they're both so emo.
They are.
Which I could respect if I was still in middle school. But right now, I'm like, just go dance in your pretty dress.
I know.
Where she's like, just I don't want to dance. I want to read.
Yeah.
Not like the others.
Right. I'm going to take my book to this concert.
Yeah, exactly. And then Harry Styles is going to pull me on stage.
I'm just so interesting. So, yeah, she walks out voluntarily onto the parapet because he's already sitting out there. I'm like, y'all are y'all are acting like you are indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
And like y'all have the soldiers to lose. You just like walk out on the okay, sure. So she goes out and meets him, and they talk about what are we.
Oh my gosh. Like that was a crazy night, right?
Yeah, right. Right. So Zayden's like, are you sure you want to do this?
Oh my gosh. I'm scarred.
She's like, I took advantage of you when you were vulnerable and in need. And she's like, oh, okay. So he just like revokes all of her agency from her. Yep. Violet is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I wanted to do this. Here, let me prove it to you. So then they go back to her room. They bang it out again.
No, this time it needs to be in his room. Why do we keep messing up my stuff?
Ooh, are they in his room this time? I don't know.
Okay.
They go back somewhere. I think it's her room, though. I think it's her room.
When you say they went out to the parapet, is this the same one they had to cross in the beginning?
Yeah.
This is not a casual hangout spot.
It is not a casual hangout spot, and yet here we are.
Okay.
Yes. So they go at it again. They unfortunately get interrupted because, oh my God, Navarre, the nation, is under attack. Oh my God. So they're like calling up third years. They're like, look, y'all gotta go.
Everybody,
we need everyone.
The Griffins have made it this far.
So we'll get there. So everyone gathers out in like the courtyard to prepare, and they like gather in their formations or whatever so they can like fly off and start going.
Is this the climax?
No, actually it's not. It is not.
Okay.
Because just kidding. The nation isn't under attack. This is just like the final act of the war games.
Oh, this was a test?
This was a test.
You purposely interrupted the party.
Yes.
So the one thing we had to like relax and celebrate, you like interrupted and it was like, sorry, we're not done with final exams.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is like if you turned in your final exam and then you were walking out the door and the professor met you at the door with like 3 more questions.
Yeah, and you like closed the door. He's like, sit back down. You thought you were gonna eat?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, okay. Everyone, so the professors come, they're like, okay, actually this is just like your final test. Like we're serious. This is it for real. We promise. Every group is going to get shipped off to an outpost. You get your assignment from your squad lead. I don't know. You get your assignment from somebody. And Zayden, his group is assigned to go to Athabine.
Okay.
This, Violet knows, is beyond the protective wards of the nation.
It's extra dangerous.
It is extra dangerous.
Zayden, no.
Yes.
When they were banging it out a second ago, were they like, oh, we're boyfriend, girlfriend now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so now it's like extra because it's like, that's my boyfriend.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So that's the thing. So, and if you remember, Zayden is the wing leader. So he has authority over Dane, the other like love interest that we forgot about.
Right. Dane. Yeah. How's he doing?
We don't really know. He's annoying. So at this point, Zayden is supposed to go off to this Athabine place. Violet is supposed to go somewhere else. Don't ask me the name. I don't know.
So wait. Psych, we're not under attack.
No.
But we are going to different outposts.
Yes. Why? And you get your assignment. It's like, I think this is wrong, but I think it's something similar to like, oh, you have to go find the golden ticket or whatever. Like it's...
Oh, this is still a test.
Yeah.
We're doing Goblet of Fire. All right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Very Triwizard Tournament-y. So once you get to your outpost, you get further instructions from the professors.
Okay.
So it's just like you have to do something once you get there.
And our boyfriend is going to the really dangerous one.
Yes.
With the guy who wants to be our boyfriend.
No.
Dane doesn't want to be our boyfriend?
Violet is with Dane. She's going with Dane to some other place.
Oh, okay.
So Zayden and his team are going to the dangerous place.
Got it. Okay.
So Zayden pulls rank and he's like, Dane, Violet is coming with me. I'm switching people on our teams. She's coming with me. And at this point, Dane realizes that they are fucking.
Yeah, I bet everybody realizes.
Yes. And of course, he is scandalized. And he's like, you cannot do this, Violet.
Because he's the rule follower. He was the one
who
was going to just like let her get mollywopped earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the one who, after she was attacked in her room, he didn't believe her. And yes, he was also going to let Jack just like kill her.
Yeah, he was like, well, them's the rules.
That's the rules.
Whack. Boo Dane.
Yes, boo Dane. Boo that man. So he begs Violet not to go with Xaden. She's like, Dane, I'm going. You can't stop me. So they go off out past the wards. And they don't make it to the outpost quite yet. They stop so their dragons can rest. And they stop at like an oasis or of some sort. And they are met by a team of Griffin riders.
Of course.
Yes. They are met by a team of Griffin riders, but Violet is like, why is everyone just like cool right now? They're not panicking. They're not fighting. Xaden has been working with these Griffin riders. Yes. Well, he set this whole thing up. Like, they have regular meetings, so he planned to meet them here at this oasis. Yeah.
Well, I've been saying from the beginning, once we said how this kingdom and what they wanted in the treatise, I was like, you guys are asking for too much. It feels like you guys want this war to continue.
Yes.
And so, low-key, I've been like, let me hear the Griffin side.
Right, yes. Because the other kingdom, they were like,
oh,
you just want too many resources.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something of that
They
nature.
wanted, like, everything.
Yeah. Yep. And they were just like, if they would just, like, accept their fair share of resources, and then we could end this war.
No. And I bet them whippings is what really put them over the edge. That would put me over the edge.
So they meet up with these Griffin riders, and they learn from the Griffin rider, and they are getting, I think, weapons and like material supplies from Xaden and his people. Yeah.
So all of Xaden's people are in on this. Okay.
All of the rebellion like kids are in on it.
There's still rebellion.
Yeah, because why was there a rebellion? We're about to find out.
Yes.
So the enemy, quote unquote, I don't know these people's names. They ride the Griffins.
Griffin people.
Yes. But they reveal that there is an army of Venin destroying villages in the nearby vicinity.
Not the mythical creature that's been mentioned lots of times.
Not the mythical creature. Those aren't real. Venin aren't real. What are you talking about?
So Venin have been destroying the Griffin people's villages.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm guessing that low-key our side is in cahoots with the Venin. And when I say our, I don't mean our, but like,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting theory. We'll get to it. So they fly off on their griffins with their weapons. And Violet is so upset. She's like, oh my god, y'all are traitors. I can't believe this. You are working with the enemy. How could you?
I'm very surprised he brought her before briefing her.
I am too. I think what happened was that they showed up early.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he was, I think at one point he might have tried to start talking to her and then they just like showed up. I think. I would have to go back and look.
This reminds me of, spoiler for Uglies, if you haven't read or seen that. You can go move past the section if you haven't.
Yes.
But that part in Uglies, when the rebellion person brings her to the meeting without briefing her first, and then she's like, what? This is rebellion stuff? Which I feel was kind of like, I would react to the same thing. Like,
yeah.
You don't even know if I wanted to get in on this.
Right.
Maybe I wanted to conform and just get my surgery and move on.
And just like
you,
go.
Like wrapped me into this.
Right. Yeah. We could talk about that movie all day.
Yeah.
Book, movie, series.
Both, whatever.
So it turns out that Xaden and his people had been giving the other kingdom, it's called Paromial.
Okay.
He's been giving them weapons to fight Venin specifically.
Okay.
So there are specific weapons you need to fight these things. And the big reveal is that the leaders of Navarre, of Violet's nation, know about this. They know about the Venin.
Yeah, I bet they did it.
They know about the Venin, and they are just refusing to help. The wards around Navarre are holding, so they're like, y'all are on your own.
That's none of our business.
That's none of our business.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
And Violet refuses to believe this. She's like, what do you mean we're the bad guys? What are you
Okay,
talking about?
not to make another reference. And this one I don't think needs a spoiler alert because it's been over a decade. But
Okay.
like in Game of Thrones,
Oh,
when Cersei, they bring her proof of the White Walkers, and she's like, "That's dope, but it doesn't feel like my problem."
Yes.
So good luck.
Yeah, that's over there.
Yeah,
I don't gotta worry about
hope
that.
y'all live.
Good luck. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yeah, they literally brought her a White Walker. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they was like, look, and she was like, wow, that's crazy.
Anyway, y'all have fun with that.
Well, she actually lied, and she was like, yeah, we'll send you people.
Yeah.
And then just didn't.
And just did not do that. Right. So, again, Violet is just so upset that Xaden has been lying to her this whole time. Because she's the main character.
She's like, who are you?
Yes. So, they get to their outpost. She's still stewing. They get to the outpost, and they realize that this outpost has been abandoned. And they realize that the professors have done this on purpose because they want Xaden to die in this.
They know he's a rebellion person.
Yes. And this part I didn't 100% understand. Because if you remember, Dane has the power to see your memories if he touches your head.
Mm-hmm. That's how, isn't that how they got the proof about that girl?
No, because he wanted to, and Violet was like, no, you're not just going to believe me. So what she did is she sent her memories to her dragon, and then he could communicate with all the other dragons who could then communicate with all of their riders.
That
was very
felt excessive.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have just let him, because at that point it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has that ability.
Yeah, so this part I didn't really understand, and I read this twice, so like I didn't pick it up either time. But at some point, it's like she speculates about this later. She thinks Dane touched her head at some point and saw something that tipped him off
about Xaden.
Yeah, because she didn't even know. She didn't even know about the rebellion. Like, she didn't know that they were like working or doing something nefarious.
But maybe she witnessed something and she didn't know the context of it. But when someone else who knows the context saw it was like, oh snap.
Yeah.
Maybe it had to do with the forest scene.
It might have been the forest
scene.
He
saw that memory and was like,
possibly.
Oh, we know what's going on.
Possibly. Because I don't think it's really explained like exactly how this happens. But yes, then he went and told his father, who's like a colonel, and then so
snitch.
And then she realizes that's what happened because the instructions at the outpost for them that were sent by the professor is written in Dane's father's handwriting. So he specifically wrote, and I think it basically said like, good luck surviving, something like that. Like,
wow.
Yeah. It's like your task is like to survive or something. I don't know.
And if I do, then what?
Right.
Then what? Because it's on site. It's on site now.
Right. So, okay. So no. Let me back up. There are instructions that were written by Colonel Etos, who's Dane's father. There's the outpost, and then there's a town, like, near-ish the outpost. So they can either flee from the outpost, or they can try and save the civilians at the outpost town, but that town is technically part of the other kingdom.
This is in the instructions.
Yes.
So we can either flee to safety, or we can risk our lives and save people
from the enemy.
And I feel like this is a test too, because they're like, if you try to save the people from the enemy, then we'll know that you're the enemy.
Yes, that's right. So of course they choose option B.
Yeah, I was about to say we have to go help people. Isn't that right? Isn't that what we're in this for?
Like literally, yes. Right.
Is Violet on the side of that too?
Yes, she's very much. It's a town full of civilians. She's like, yeah, we're gonna go and try and like save people's lives.
Okay, good.
They can see the venom coming, and unfortunately, these venom also have wyverns or wyvern. I don't know what the plural is.
What does a wyvern look like?
I am picturing it as the ice dragons from Game of Thrones.
Okay, cool. Oh my goodness, we better not lose any of our dragons. If we lose the small chicken one, our big one, or Xaden's, I'm going to be mad. We can lose any of the other ones.
Okay. So they come up with this plan as the venom, the cloud, it's like on a cloud of like, I want to say like red dust. I don't know, something like that. But they see him coming. They devise a plan very quickly that there is a mine at the edge of this town, or maybe at the center of the town. I'm not 100% sure. There's a mine. They're going to try and take as many people as they can, shove them into the mines. Okay. Just like, we got to evacuate. Yeah. Like, we got to go. So it's a team of like 5 or 6 of them. They all have dragons, so they're all just trying to get as many people to safety as possible. As the Venin approach, one of them has some sort of power where if they touch something, it just like spreads a circle of death, basically. It's intense. Okay. So unfortunately, some of their folks get caught up in this circle of death and die.
We only have 5 to 6 people. Yeah. Some of our folks. How many folks?
1, maybe 2. Oh my goodness. At this point.
Why don't we? What's the downside to being a Venin? Because they're feeling pretty cool right now.
Right. I couldn't tell you.
Why don't we all get in on that?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. So. Let's see. They are also battling the wyvern in the air. While some people are trying to evacuate the townspeople, others are trying to fight the wyverns, which the Venin ride the wyverns.
Got it.
So they're trying to fight like an air battle, basically. Mm-hmm. So
now we're at the climax.
This is the climax. Correct. Yes, this is it. This is it. So Liam and his dragon are close by. It's just like a very intense air battle. Xaden's on his dragon fighting wyvern, and there's like so many of they're outnumbered like crazy.
So Venin have more than one wyvern. It's not like they 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I don't see why don't we become a Venin. Like, they're seeming really OP right now.
Seeming like a great option.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're tussling it out. Violet and her dragon get in some trouble. Liam comes with his dragon and comes to save Violet. His dragon gets in a very violent battle with a wyvern.
His dragon is one that dies. I know someone's dragon has to die.
So his dragon gets like basically disemboweled.
Oh,
I know. It's a really grisly, like brutal scene.
It's the climax.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, so his dragon dies. Violet pulls Liam onto her dragon in the course of all this happening, but they try to save his dragon, but unfortunately, his dragon passes away, and that means that Liam is also going to die.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I thought that for some reason I thought that was just a thing with her and Xaden.
No, it's a thing specifically. So a dragon can survive if its human dies. A human cannot survive once their dragon dies.
This is like a bad deal. Why can't I just want to be a Venin at this point? Oh my goodness, why couldn't it have been Dane?
Yeah, so it's very emotional and it's crazy because all he wants is to like be with his dragon as he's dying. So his dragon fell like some distance away, and she's trying to like drag him and carry him so he can be with his dragon. And he's not injured. He's not.
It's just like an internal death type thing,
right? Yes, it is very emotional. She tries to carry him as eventually Xaden gets free and he's able to take Liam to his dragon. It's very sad. I'm not gonna lie.
It makes sense though, because they definitely were setting up both he and Rhiannon as like the adjacent friend characters. Yeah. So it was like, okay, we gotta flip a coin. One of them has got to go.
Cannot make it.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's very, very sad. So that happens. There was a bit of a lull where Xaden was able to take Liam, and he dies with his dragon. And then we see just a shit ton of wyvern coming. Just like so many of them. Oh my gosh. Violet, we learned that Violet is the only one that's able to kill them with her, because she has her lightning.
Yes. She's got all the special stuff.
Yes. And they have to use these special daggers on the wyvern, or the Venin, not the wyverns. The Venin, which is the people. There's some sort of special material, which is what they've been giving the enemy to make weapons that can actually kill them. So, and Violet is in what you can kill them, the wyvern with lightning. So she tries to take out as many of those as she can, and she's like, it's too much. Like, there are too many.
This is what you've been practicing for.
Right.
Get up there and get it done.
Yes. She ends up getting into a tussle with a Venom who jumps onto her dragon. So the Venom is on her dragon.
Can't the dragon like boot it off?
Well, not without booting Violet off too.
Oh, they're both up there.
Yes, they're both up there.
Okay.
Yes. So she's trying to fight this Venom thing. It can talk, like it's a woman. Okay. We learn that.
Person, evil wizard.
Yes, and we're supposed to understand that the Venom are bad because she's got just like bloody red eyes and like cracks spreading across her face. So she looks like being a Venom.
So I'm
is
evil
not...
because I'm ugly? That makes her evil?
That's what we're supposed to understand.
I don't know. Yes. I need to hear more before I villainize the Venom.
That's fair. That is fair, honestly. So she is fighting with this Venom. She gets some support from Xaden because his power is shadow. So he blacks out like the area so the Venom can't see her.
But he can't see either, right? But
she can see because she can see in Dane's or Xaden's. She can see in Xaden. No, I am making that up. That's a different book.
Okay, just kidding.
Completely different book.
I can understand though, these concepts, they overlap.
No, but he does provide some like support, so he like starts blacking things out so she can get away, whatever. Maybe that didn't happen either. Maybe I'm thinking about that from a different book.
Xaden maybe helps somehow.
Yes.
His power is shadow though, right?
His power is shadows. Okay. So maybe he helps like the other dragons. I don't know. Anyway, she ends up, they're still on top of her dragon. Violet gets stabbed by this Venom. And she then realizes very quickly that it was a poison dagger.
So now she, her dragon, the other dragon, Xaden, all of us are on the line.
They're all in danger.
This is such a vulnerable...
They are all in danger. She manages to kill this Venom finally. And then she notices that some of the wyvern die.
Oh, so it's connected to, they're connected as well.
Correct. She makes that connection. So they have to specifically target the Venom if they want to kill all the wyverns. Because whoever created a wyvern, if they die, those wyverns die.
So can lightning kill the Venom too? Because maybe she could get back on that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's what she ends up doing. She does. Yes.
Okay.
So they identify like the leader, the like big head honcho Venom. And they're like, we're going to target that one. Violet, you have to get him. Like, we'll take care of the rest of them. You got to get that one. So she is able to kill the leader, but that just like takes all of her strength because she's also stabbed, poison stabbed. So that just saps all of her strength.
She falls. To have a moment where Xaden's like, no.
Yeah, she falls off her dragon. So that's intense. Xaden manages to kill the last Venom, so all of the wyvern for now in the vicinity are dead. And she's falling. Her small yellow dragon catches her.
Oh, we knew he was going to come in clutch at some point.
And Darna is clutch right now. Actually, is she still yellow?
Oh, did she change colors?
She should have changed.
She evolves into like a level 2.
Yes. I think at this point she is, after she used her, I didn't even talk about this. After she used her powers to save Liam in the battle with Jack, that's when they realized that her dragon was an adolescent.
Yeah.
Or was a baby. And now her dragon is like a teenage dragon.
Okay.
So using all of that time-stopping power, I guess, like propelled her to become like an adolescent. So she's black now, I think.
Oh, so she matches the other one.
I think so, yes.
I kind of liked her being yellow.
I know, it was cute. Yeah. It was cute. So it's fine. So the smaller dragon catches her. Violet is like going in and out of consciousness, and she hears everyone panicking about what to do with her because she is literally dying. Like her blood is like coming out of her, but it's black. That's not a good sign.
If only we had a magic healer on hand.
If only we had brought a healer with us, you know? Yes. So they argue about taking her there. We can't take her there. What are you talking about?
She's like, what's there?
We can't take her there. That would be risking everything. And Xaden is like, no, she must see him.
Let me guess. There's like an underground city of the rebellion or whatever.
We'll see.
Okay. All right.
We are closing in on the end here.
Uh-huh.
So because Violet is like unconscious now, we switch to Xaden's POV.
Mm-hmm.
This has all been written from Violet's point of view up till now, but now she can't say anything because she's unconscious. She has been out for days, but she's still alive. She is still alive, and she finally wakes up. She wakes up in a room, pretty comfortable bed. She goes over to the window and she sees a city. They are in the capital of the province where the rebellion happened, which was allegedly just like completely destroyed. Yes, and it was destroyed.
They rebuilt.
Correct. It's been like what, 10 years,
and they kept it hidden. Good on them.
Yeah, right. So she is very upset that they have taken her here. She is very mad about it. She is like, look, I'm not your girl anymore. You lied to me.
They should have left her. Well, no, because she's attached to Xaden, so I get it. It's like, we got to save her so I don't die, but she's getting on my nerves.
Yes. Yep. She's like, we're done. We're done. I'm done with you. I can't be with you anymore. No. You lied to me. It's like, yeah, I lied to you about the rebellion that had to be kept a secret.
Like, this is beyond you. This isn't like, this is lots of people. This is an entire civilization on the line.
Literally, yes.
Like, your kingdom's trying to commit genocide over here. So I hid it from you.
Yes, I hid it.
Because you can't be trusted. Look at you.
Look at how you're acting.
That's why I didn't tell you.
Look at how you're acting. Yes. So they have it out. They, they're arguing, and Xaden's like, no, you have to take me back. You can trust me. I won't lie anymore.
Aww.
And Violet's like, I don't believe you. So all of a sudden, during their couple fight, there is a knock at the door.
Is it Dane?
Do you know who it is?
Let me think. Mira! It's Mira! And she's like, Xaden, what's this?
It is Violet's brother, Brennan.
He didn't die!
He didn't die!
And he's a healer.
He's a healer. He is the one who healed her. And the final line of the book is him saying, hey, Violet, welcome to the revolution. Yes.
That's a great ending.
It is a good ending.
He faked his death so that he could go help the other side.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. And that is the book.
Yeah, I like that. I like that ending.
I think that the second, actually, it's probably like the last third of the book was way more enjoyable, which is probably what-ish we covered, maybe a little more than half, or a little less than half. The final portion of the book, I think, was way more enjoyable than all. I just can't get on board with like this war college and all of the stupid choices that they made.
Yes, the first beginning, especially, a lot of the obstacles they faced felt unnecessary,
right?
And really, like, we were just trying to push a point of like, look at how brutal it is, and it's like, but does it make any sense?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, there's no logical reason for a lot of the choices that are made. Even if you look at it from the context of, we know that these Venom are out here in this neighboring kingdom, that's still not a reason for why they make these choices. Exactly. So it's not like we learned anything that puts all of that in a different context. It's just silly.
But the last third, when we finally get over something, like, they finally stop pretending like they hate each other and all
right.
That. Like, we finally get to the meat and potatoes of it all. I very much like that.
Yeah.
Dane's character annoyed me kind of the entire book.
Yes. Yeah. And it's weird for me because I am also very much like a rule/process oriented kind of person, but it also has to make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not just going to follow rules just because they're rules.
Maybe it's trying to make that point of how, like, we all think we would stand up for the right thing, but under certain forms of authority,
sure,
it's easier to go along with the flow. People like to make those sort of,
or when you're like kind of indoctrinated or raised with these like beliefs, some people are a lot more susceptible to that.
And, like, I'm not trying to, like, toot our own horns, but, like, there's just a certain point where, like, when you start killing people in front of me, where I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
this is necessary. Why?
Right. And a little bit of background, like the author comes to this, I believe she was or is a military spouse, and I think she's coming from kind of that perspective of like what happens. But it just didn't really hit for me a lot of the time because a lot of these choices are just silly and dumb.
Like, we wouldn't be wasting bodies in that way. We will waste bodies,
right?
Just not in that way. Like,
right.
They'll be thrown at war,
right.
not off of a parapet for no reason.
For no reason. Like, it's not like 20% of people who go into basic training die.
Yeah.
Maybe 20% of people who go into basic training don't make it through, but that's not because they die. So
I love that twist.
Yeah, okay. It was a good twist at the end. I don't think... I'm trying to remember the first time I don't think I expected her brother to be alive. I mean...
And it is a twist that's been done before. We see it a lot when a person's mom dies, and then it's like she faked her death.
Yes.
I watched something recently where they did that, and the whole time I was thinking, like, she's not dead, she faked her death.
Yeah.
I think the reason I didn't see it coming with this is because even though it didn't explicitly say, I just got the impression that it was like, oh yeah, we had his body, we had a funeral. Like, I got the impression that it was like, he died, we did the ceremony of dying sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently not. Apparently whatever happened to him, they were fine with there not being a body.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a thing. No, they don't burn. It's not a custom to burn people in this culture, but it is a custom to burn all of their belongings. So I think maybe my mind just like translated that onto
so like he's burned.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that though. I love that he's part of the revolution.
Yeah.
I can obviously tell that he's going to have to explain that side of things to her. Then she's going to realize her mom's evil, which shouldn't have taken much. I thought her mom was evil from the start.
From jump, when she
was trash talking their dad, honestly, when she was like, you can't be an effing scribe.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm like, wasn't your husband a scribe?
Right. And when she literally took her like very tiny and disabled daughter and was like, oh, you're going to go be a writer.
Exactly. And yes.
Because it makes me look bad if you're not. Excuse me?
So you're not picking the job I would actually be best suited for.
Right.
So their nation from the beginning was giving evil.
Oh, for sure. For sure. The part where it was like, they were explaining that, that other kingdom is just too greedy and wants too many resources. I was like, are you sure about that?
Or do they just want things to be equitable?
Right.
Like we can all thrive.
That sounds like something.
While I do like the ending, something I would have liked a step more is like when you do the same concept, but where the reality you're in does feel just, right? You're in this reality that's like, everything feels just. And then at the end, you still find out you're the bad guys. And it's like, dang, now you really got me.
I don't know if I've ever seen that done very well before. I would really have to sit and think. But that I think would be difficult to do. It would be, because all the examples I think of, there are always those undertones of like, you can tell it's evil. There has to be like some of that, right? Like there has to, well, maybe there doesn't. I don't know. I can think of a couple Black Mirror episodes that I think come close to doing that. Okay. And basically it's the idea of like, well, in order for you to have this just society, this is what has to happen in the background. Yeah. You want me at that wall type mentality. Right. So yeah, there's the sequel is already out, and I believe we don't have to leave this in because we're not really talking about timelines, but I think the third one comes out in early 2025. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So have you read the second one? No. Do you plan on it? Yes. Okay. Yes, we can cover the second book too. Yes. Stay tuned. Although I do think we need to fit in some ACOTAR. Yeah, we do. We got to fit that in somewhere. We do. We can do that soon. Because I have thoughts, and I will never get tired of talking about them. If you want to hear our thoughts, stay tuned for our future episodes. Y'all. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for listening, for watching. Had a great time with this one. Have you read Fourth Wing? If you have, do you have the same thoughts as us? Do you have different thoughts? Do you plan on reading it? Super popular right now. Yeah, let us know. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Peace. You've reached the voicemail of Tasha and Aniqua. We can't come to the phone right now, but if you like, comment, subscribe, and click another episode, we'll be with you shortly.